Hey everybody, welcome to Season 3 of Let's Talk with a Saw, right here on Superlative Radio.
Season 3.
Season 3, that's right. That's right, all three of them. That's right. We're here to talk this week about the first 2 episodes of Wandavision, which was a surprise because I only thought we were going to get 1, but we got the first 2. And we're going to talk about Pennyworth, Season 2, Episode 1 as well. So... just
finally some new stuff to talk about.
Yeah, and
took long enough.
So we'll be talking about all this stuff for the next, at least the next. I'm going to say
7 weeks.
More than that, because Pennyworth is probably going to be another 13.
Will it be 13?
18 episodes, however many the first one was. I forget, but whatever. So we're here for the long haul for this one. So welcome.
It's all good.
So anyway, I hope you guys like our new background, and you're going to get to see kind of what we started with Season 2. We started with showing video of what we were talking about, and we're going to actually do that because I decided, you know what, we're not going to worry about, the flagging that YouTube does for copyright or whatever, because, this is a review, and in the context of a review, we're allowed to use video footage. We're even allowed to use audio. So, they can... take their copyright, whatever, and they can shove it. And that's pretty much how it's going to be. So, that said, we are going to start with Pennyworth. Because it's been a while since we talked about Pennyworth. And I want to save WandaVision to the end, because I want to do both episodes at the same time. So
makes sense.
So, Pennyworth. Man, looks pretty good. Okay, so...
He loves that.
I know, I do. So, what did you think of Season 2?
I was
Pennyworth.
anxious.
Sure.
I was anxious for it to start, as you know. We've been waiting for it for what seems like forever. And you mentioned something to me off air that I hadn't thought about, but it didn't start in the same place.
No, it ended. Season 1 ended with them trying to get out of England.
That's right, exactly.
On a boat or
and
something.
Now he's just saving the money to get the hell out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't realize that until you had said it to me off air.
Because I was kind of confused when I was like, am I sure this is the first one?
Yeah,
Did I miss something?
Exactly.
The recap showed that it was the first one, so I was like,
yeah. But when you went through the beginning of this first one here of the second season, they gave you a recap. They kind of give you a rundown.
They give you a recap of Season 1.
And showed, Esme getting killed, and they show all the stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't remember that it ended on that spot. Like, it feels because it's been so long.
I know.
It's hard to remember sometimes.
It's been almost a year.
Yeah, I know. There's so many other things that have been going through my mind. I didn't keep that in
September, I think.
Yeah, didn't keep that in the long term. But you said it to me off air, and I kind of went back in my mind. I was thinking, son of a bitch, he's right.
Yeah, I know. It was messed up.
Yeah. So basically, you're right. It didn't end in the same spot. But, that aside, watching it go and watching it work out, I thought it was pretty good. And I loved the way he played both ends against the middle and made money on both ends. I thought that was so cool.
That was really good.
It was really neat because, he was saying how, he wasn't the one that told him or did what, and then you see, so I thought, good for you. Good.
Well, it's like this part that we're going to show right here. When the guy in the club was threatening the other guy with the gun, he walks over and he takes the gun, he takes it all apart, puts it down.
That's right.
I loved that.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Like, he just, as you can see, he just takes the gun all apart.
That's right.
Like, bullets and everything.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
It's,
but he was ignoring the Queen's phone calls.
Yes, because the Queen was getting on his nerves and trying to, trying to keep the pump house going, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
But that's what confused me.
But not everybody gets to shag the Queen, so,
No, I know. But I thought, in Season 1, I didn't think that that they had... I didn't think that it had gotten to the point where, I thought they had solved the problem and the Queen was now back in charge of everything, of the whole country.
No, they didn't.
But I must have forgotten about that.
No, they didn't. It hasn't been back to, he saved her and did what he did, but they didn't get everything back to, normal, as it were. Kosher. But, but it's just kind of strange how it all sort of fell together. And so, at least it's back and it's sort of got the same,
I'm really
energy and whatever, so it's good. I'm happy with the fact that it's back and it seems to be it hasn't seemed what's the word I'm looking for? It didn't seem like it's lost anything since.
Oh no, not at
You know,
all.
this is one of the things I was actually worried about, is because it had been so long in between. You know, actors can do their. I'm not that I'm an actor, but I can only assume. But of course, we all know what happens when you assume. But the thing is, like, you're doing I don't know what, a sitcom or a whatever.
Yeah.
You know, as long as the acting, the character that you're playing is still fresh in your mind, and you're still in the same zone, and you can keep it and keep the energy and do what you're doing. But if there's too long in between, I would figure it sort of falls by the wayside, and it sort of would be hard to kind of get back into that groove. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not.
Well, I don't know about that, because
It's a technique that you know, any character that. Again, I can't speak. I can only put myself there and kind of figure how it would be for me.
Right,
Any character that I would play for me if I was being an actor, once I got into that, sort of got into the skin of the actor, or the character, excuse me, the skin of the character that I'm playing. If you're going to do it while you're in the skin. Don't put me in the skin, take me out. Put me in the skin, take me out. You know, because that kind of screws up things. I would think.
Well, no. I know from watching Star Trek, as an example. I know that Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, Brent Spiner, they've all said this from the Next Generation eras. When they stopped filming Next Generation, there was no break in filming, because when they finished the last episode, they had like a week off or 2 weeks off, and then they went right into filming their first movie. But between Generations and First Contact, there was like a whole year went by. And the same thing between First Contact and Insurrection was like a whole year or year and a half went by. But they said that every time they came back, for them, it was just like they had never left. Like, being those characters, when you portray a character and you're used to portraying it, and you've got that character down.
Okay.
So
Can I just interrupt?
A lot of actors will say that when they get back into that, as soon as they step back on set,
it's like an old pair of shoes or something,
like,
right?
Oh man, I'm right.
But you got to realize, how long did they play these characters?
7 years
before they started that. This isn't the same thing with Pennyworth. He's only done it for.
I know, but look at Star Trek, the original series. It was the same thing with William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and them. When they stepped back into playing Kirk and Bones and Spock for the motion picture, that was like 15 years after, or something, or 13 years after the last season of the original series ended. Like, you're talking 13 years or something crazy, like, or 10 years or whatever it was.
But these are characters that had already been developed.
But they were only 3 seasons. Like, it's like, that's not like a whole huge. And then 13 or whatever years to go by, you got to think, right? I mean, I guess when you're an actor, that part of being an actor
that explains why I'm not an actor.
Is that they have that ability to just step back into that character.
Yeah,
Maybe they need a little refresher by watching an episode or something, or remembering something they did. But I'll bet you most of them just no problem. They just step right back into it, no problem.
Oh, see, that would explain why I'm not an actor, because I would figure it would be hard to kind of step out of it.
Did you ever watch?
No, I never watched that. No.
What was that show? Spin City with Michael J. Fox.
No.
He was the mayor's. I don't know. He was like the deputy mayor or something.
No, I never saw that.
Anyway, okay. Well, in that he replayed at one point. He replayed the role of what was his character's name in Family Ties?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. He was it Michael Keaton?
Alex Keaton.
Alex Keaton.
Sorry,
yeah.
Michael J. Fox.
Keaton, I'm like, Michael Keaton's a friggin' actor.
Yeah,
They play Batman. No, but
Alex Keaton. Alex P. Keaton.
Right. Well, he replayed that.
What? You remember that?
He replayed that character at the very end of Spin City, or whatever, for like one portion or whatever. It was really but it was just like he was Alex Keaton again. Like, and I mean, how many years was between that? Like, because Spin City was in like the late 90s or the early 2000s, and like it hit,
but you got to
understand 15, 20 years since he had played Alex.
But you got to understand one thing that way, okay? Now, I understand what you're saying, but you got to understand that it's okay. I'm going to give you another example. It's like Tim Allen playing Tim Taylor and now playing the other guy on the news show.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of similarities there. I mean, it's a lot of Tim Allen himself that's in these characters. How hard is it to play yourself? Not play with yourself, but just play yourself.
Did you know they did an episode of that where he played both characters?
They're doing one. He's going to play both characters.
Yeah.
Yes,
I can't wait to
I saw
see
him talking about it.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, he wanted to, because people have been saying to him about bringing Tim Taylor back.
Yeah.
And he said...
Yeah, they're talking about doing a revival series.
Yeah, I know, I heard.
I think that'd be kick-ass.
But the one I liked was on the new one, they brought Jill back, but
Yeah.
not as Jill.
Not as
but
Jill.
they brought the kill, and she was
Essentially
referring...
Jill, who had boys.
That's right, that's
her
right.
husband died because he was always trying to boost
That's
the power
right,
on something
exactly.
and
Yeah,
kill himself.
yeah. And then they brought one of the sons back
Yeah.
and did, and it was just
Yeah, it
I
was
was
really-
watching that and
yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that is
Yeah.
so awesome.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
was really cool.
And the interaction between them, like almost like, do I know you
I
from
know,
somewhere?
like,
it
yeah.
was just.
It was perfect.
I mean, I was just dying laughing, and I was like, I just, I love Tim Allen. I really
I do
do.
too.
I mean,
Yeah, that would be good.
if I ever met that man, I would give him a hug and I'd say, dude, you are the man.
Yeah,
you know,
he's pretty good. Anyway,
what?
The Saw has like 3-4-way conversations with themselves in Puppet World.
This is a good point. Yeah, that's true.
true.
Yeah, you play 3 or 4 puppets on
I play
all
more
in the
than
pen.
3 or
So yeah,
I
that's
play
right.
like 12.
Yeah, and you talk to yourself. So I mean, then
Constantly.
again, he plays with himself. So
I
what
talk
do
to
you-
myself and I play with him.
Well,
so.
there you go. So what's the point?
Maybe that's what Kim keeps complaining
That
about.
could be it.
I'm always
That's
talking
it.
to myself and playing with myself.
Playing with
no
us-
time to play with.
That's
She'll probably get a kick out of that.
maybe we should go on hiatus for a while. Give you some time to.
We did go on hiatus since last week.
Yeah.
Anyway, no.
He's all yours, Kim.
So back to Pennyworth.
We don't want him.
Oh, whatever. But yeah, like as the show progressed, like you said, he played both sides of the whole, the whole scheming stuff there, and they've got London surrounded, like they're gonna try to take it or whatever. And then,
Yeah.
of course, when Martha and Thomas met.
Yeah.
Again, right? He had been back in the States and then he came back over or whatever. And what I find really funny about that is
Yeah, but they're leaving it like
initially-
they're not gonna.
Well, initially, did you notice
He's engaged to somebody else.
Yeah, but did you notice she was more like hinting at the fact that she had something for him until he kind of brushed her
That's
off,
right.
and then she's like, yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. She was pissed off because
Yeah, and I'm
he,
kind of wondering how they're gonna.
Yeah, because he was. They get married eventually.
Well, they're supposed to, I mean,
What are they going to change history?
I don't know. Well, I don't know because this isn't following Batman's traditional history anyway. Even with Alfred, right? Like this isn't even following Alfred's.
Well, nobody knew what Alfred's history was. They could make it anything they want.
No, he had a history. They made a history for him in the comics. He had one. That's what I mean. Like they're not following anything. So it's like they're creating their own. So they could maybe do something different. Who knows?
Oh, see,
Or
I
maybe
thought
they'll have them come together later on. I don't know. It's just I just find it really interesting, and I thought their interaction, because when they were in whatever, when he came back to England and they were in that room together, or whatever, and they were talking, and and then of course
Yeah,
when
right
he
there.
left, yeah,
yeah,
and she was all like, yeah, well, at the very end of it,
but it's. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
what they're
I don't
gonna
know
do.
either. So
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
yeah, that's.
Because I mean, the show is just fantastic. It's phenomenal. It's as good as I remember.
Yeah, like I said, it's got the same good energy to
Yeah.
it and whatever. So yeah, I think it's great. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's really cool.
I'm in.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, what did you guys think of, if you guys are watching Pennyworth, what did you guys think of the season premiere? Did it throw you guys off too, where it started and how last season ended and stuff? Like, did you kind of confused a bit or what? Let us know below. Have a comment
Yeah, give us
below.
your opinions, and
Yeah.
if you're watching it, and if you're not, I would highly suggest you
Oh,
do.
yeah, definitely.
I mean,
And-
just
and
look at some of the scenes. I mean,
even-
this is really good.
Not only that, but you can pick up with season 2 right at the beginning, because they do a pretty good recap at the beginning. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not as if you had watched all of season
no,
1.
I would
But-
recommend you watch season 1.
Yeah, but
You know,
but if you can't, I mean, at the very least, you're still early enough on in the series you could pick it up, and then if it comes in reruns or something, you could watch it later, or
Yeah.
pick it up on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. But yeah, like it's pretty neat. It's a pretty good show, and it's not like a traditional comic book show. So and I think we said this last season when we talked about it, but when you're watching it, it's not like your typical comic book show. It's not about superheroes and stuff. Yeah, it's about Alfred Pennyworth, who's technically Batman's butler, and Thomas and Martha Wayne, who are his parents. But it's it's more like a what would you say? It's more like one of those dark noir kind of.
I wouldn't call it I wouldn't call it more noir. I don't see it as noir,
it's like
but
a dark noir kind of
there's
gangster style.
Noir means there's a narration to it, and there's nobody really narrating it.
No, I know, but
that's
got
what
that,
I see.
It's got the rest of that feel though to it. I think that's what I mean. Like it's got that
to some degree, maybe, but not. Completely.
It's not like it's definitely not like a comic book show or anything. It's based on comic book characters, but it's nothing like a comic book show. It's more like a.
It's a
mystery,
it's
more like
action.
a mystery private eye kind of.
Yeah.
It brings me to that whole aspect of the 40s and the 50s where they had those,
Well, it is older.
Yeah, and it's that
in
concept,
its time.
and that's
So,
where it is.
but it's a great series.
Yeah,
so
it's
yeah,
really good.
I agree. So check it out.
Check it out.
I'm sure
You'll
you'll
probably
enjoy
like
it if you're into that style of.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So as you can see, anyway. So that said, do Bewitched.
Yeah.
WandaVision.
But Bewitched doesn't come in till number 2.
I know,
Yeah.
but WandaVision. When they do the whole thing, it's like
The first one is
WandaVision.
the first one
I
is
know,
Dick
I
Van
know.
Dyke Show. Take
Oh,
off.
I don't know. Do you think it's that
spoiler
one?
alert. If you haven't
think
seen
it's
it,
that
check
one?
it. It is.
Anyway.
That's the set. The
Anyway,
first one is the
it
set of the
is-
Dick Van Dyke Show. Trust me on this.
WandaVision. And now, so before we get into delving into the 2 episodes that we're going to talk about, the name of the show has an ulterior meaning into the fact that, like, everything that has to do with WandaVision, there are ulterior meanings to everything. So
he told me.
yeah, there is. This show is really, really deep.
How deep is it?
Exactly. Well, no, but like as an example, if you're like a casual viewer like he is,
I'm only seeing the
you're not
surface.
going to like even Kim was asking me questions about it too and stuff like, well, what does this mean? Because if you're a casual viewer, you're not going to understand really all of what's going on.
Of course not.
But if you're a Marvel fan, you will. Now, the ulterior meaning, behind the name, WandaVision, it's not just because it's
You're going to spell it all out for them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not because it's just Wanda and Vision in the show that's called WandaVision. It's what's happened is she's in a bubble reality, either, and I'm not entirely sure if she's created it herself or she's been placed in it.
I am too, aren't
But-
I? I'm in my own little reality sometimes too.
So the name WandaVision doesn't just mean about Wanda and Vision. It means Wanda's vision. Like it's like she's seeing and creating everything. Her powers.
Oh, so it's a play on.
Yes. It's a play on their names,
Yeah.
and it's a play on what's actually happening. Her powers are, like she has the ability to throw off telekinetic blasts, to move things all telekinetically. She can control reality. And part of her power is that she's creating this bubble reality, or someone's created it and put her in it. So that's what the double meaning there is. Now, throughout both of the episodes that are available to watch right now, you'll see numerous references to the devil. There's numerology references. There's all sorts of references to things that are happening in the greater MCU that even like when you watch the 2 of them, like if you watch it, you'll see that Wanda and Vision both know who they are. They both know the powers that they have, but they're trying to fit into this television world that they're sort of thrust into. Yes, you may speak.
Thank you.
May I ask a question?
Sir, can I ask you? Is the whole TV Dick Van Dyke and Bewitched and it's going to be Brady Bunch and there's going to be all kinds of different? Are they central to this story, or is this just thrown in as an extra added bonus?
What it is it's
because you said everything has to.
Yes, it's sort of showcasing this strange reality that, like, you notice that they don't think anything odd about the fact that it jumped from, like, the Dick Van Dyke to the Bewitched.
Well, even
thing.
in the second one, it
And then the
changed at the end.
Yeah,
again.
and then the next one it changed to what's probably going to be the Brady Bunch one.
Well, not quite, but anyway, it's just,
And then it's going to
changing.
go. Then it's going to go into like Roseanne and Growing Pains, and like it's going to go through all these different things, right? All these different shows.
Yeah.
And that, like, they're not noticing the change.
No.
They're not noticing that the house is changing.
No.
That you know,
The whole
their-
atmosphere is
that
changing
their
a bit.
clothing
Yeah.
is changing,
Yeah.
their hairstyle is changing. They're not noticing all these changes, but they're just trying to fit into the reality as it is at that moment. It's really, I guess, involved with what they're doing, and now there's a lot of hints that the villain is either going to end up being Nightmare or Mephisto, and those are traditionally Doctor Strange villains. Mephisto is like the devil of the Marvel Universe, for those of you out there that don't know. And that's why there's numerous references to the devil throughout both episodes, is probably hinting at the fact that Mephisto is either involved or in some way responsible. Now, maybe he's working with Nightmare to do this. Nightmare is a guy from another, from the nightmare dimension where nightmares are created when you're asleep. And there's a reason why Elizabeth Olsen is going to be in Doctor Strange 2, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Because that's going to be part 3. Like the WandaVision is part 1, so it's like it's 9 episodes, so it's going to be like 3 hours or 3.5 hours is what it'll probably work out to be by the time it's all said and done. And that's like part 1 of a movie. And then it's going to jump from there, it's going to go into Spider-Man 3. And the reason it's going to do that with Spider-Man 3 is because Spider-Man 3 is going to involve the multiverse, which is going to lead into, and that's why we're going to see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire all reprising the roles, because they're going to be Spider-Men from different
Eras,
realities, right? So, and that's going to go from that into Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange is going to make an appearance in Spider-Man 3. So,
Is Spider-Man going to make an appearance in WandaVision?
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
but he might make an appearance in Doctor Strange. You know, where it's coming after his movie.
So then, how does WandaVision lead into Spider-Man then?
It's leading into the creation of it's leading into the multiverse, which they started with when Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home, Mysterio was talking about the multiverse, right?
Okay.
So it's all leading. Every part's interconnected with the movies and the TV shows. Like everything flows from one to the other, back and forth. Like it's why you got, and they've had to alter things, of course, because of COVID. They had to change, different.
Okay.
Things. But anyway, so anyway, the first one, so we'll talk about the first one now. Because that's kind of a little bit of backstory about what's actually going on and how everything is. But in the first one, it's him and Wanda have moved into a neighborhood, and but they don't know when they were married. They don't know when they met.
That's right, because they were asked questions and they don't know the deal.
Because it's all about Vision at his job having his boss and his wife come to dinner that night, and of course they do the typical hijinks of a
Have to do that at least once a show.
Yeah, of a sitcom where they're all trying to figure out what's going on. Now, the other character that's in it is Agatha, their neighbor.
That's right.
And Agatha is another character that is connected to the Marvel Universe.
You said that
and
to me off air,
she's
yes.
connected to, I believe it's Doctor Strange or Mephisto. I'm trying to remember because it's been so long. But she's connected in that way. So there's a reason why she's there as well. Now, I don't know if she's aware of what's going on yet or not, but I think we're going to learn about that.
Okay.
But anyway, so the episode is basically they have the typical conversation on the phone where they think they're talking about the same thing, but they're talking about two different things. She's thinking he's talking about their anniversary, and he thinks she's talking about dinner with his boss.
That's right. And it all screws up.
It all screws up, so they go through the whole thing. And
Yeah.
like one of the first hints we get about the devil is the Yakety Yak song.
That has to do with the devil?
Well, one of the features
That was their song,
of the
they said.
devil is a goat man, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of looks like a yak in a bit. So the whole them singing that was kind of like almost like a toss to the. And there's another point where they mention something. I'm trying to remember what it is they mention. It'll come to me. But like their house, you were asking me about the significance of the numbers on their house, where it's 2,800.
Yeah.
Well, it's a numerology thing, right? Where like 2 minus 8 is 6.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like, so there's a 6. Like there's constant references to sixes. Sixes keep coming up throughout the episode in numerology. There's different ways. Like so what ends up happening is you're seeing 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.
Okay.
Right? So 666, of course, number of the beast.
That's right.
All that stuff. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in the minutia of it. Like, and then of course they have the commercial in the first one.
Minutia. Ooh.
Yeah.
Would you have a dictionary for supper last night?
Oh no! I had. I went down to the
library.
I went down to the drive-through there with Fred and had myself a thesaurus burger.
There you go. Now he's going to be going.
But yeah, so they had the commercial in the first one. You know, the toaster.
That's right. The
by
toaster
Stark
by
Tech, which-
Stark Technologies.
Here,
Yeah.
have a look, because it was just
That's right there. That's yeah.
The commercial was just, it was funny, but like,
And then the second one was the watch.
the second, yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
But yeah,
Sorry.
like
I jumped the gun.
yeah, but like one of the first scenes you see Wanda, and she's as you can see here, she's doing the dishes. And then a plate walks over or flies over and it
That's
hits
right.
Vision's head and shatters. And she's talking about her husband's indestructible head,
And then
which is ironic considering Thanos ripped the gem out of his head in Infinity War and killed him. But yeah, like there's a whole lot of things that are going on. Of course, they make references at his job to him being a computer and him going, no, I'm as normal as everybody else.
That's right. And then he's going doing all these. Yeah, exactly.
He finishes all the paperwork in
That's
like
right.
seconds. Yeah. But it's really funny. And then of course, like he saves his boss's life by using his intangibility power to reach in and pull the piece of meat he was choking on out of his throat. But yeah, like and of course the whole thing when the cabinet doors or whatever open to the kitchen. And you see her in the kitchen
with all the things flying around. Yeah, exactly.
I kind of liked at the very end when they were leaving. She puts her hands around one and she's like, and who's the guest leaving your house or whatever?
Yeah.
And then she goes to the door, they open the door, and there's a lobster at the door.
That's right.
That's an interesting door knocker.
Yeah. Clock. That was one of the ones that went out the window. That's right, exactly.
It was just so messed up, right? Like there's so many really cool things, and you're right. It's very, when you showed me the Dick Van Dyke show, the set looks almost like the exact same set.
Pretty much.
So if you look up the old Dick Van Dyke show with him and Mary Tyler Moore, you'll see.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you'll see that. I didn't know.
Toaster commercial.
The toaster commercial? It's to have that typical. If you guys didn't hear Mark's question, he asked what was with the toaster commercial. It's to have that typical 50s style or whatever commercial that would appear.
Yeah, the old commercial styles.
But
it wasn't,
at the same time, the fact that it was by.
I want to buy that toaster.
But the fact that it was by Stark Industries.
Was the throwback
to the fact that it's like, it's
part of the whole
part of Marvel, and it's so it's really quite interesting the way they did that. I really liked the commercial. That was funny. I was like, oh my God, they did a commercial. That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I believe it was the first episode they filmed actually in front of a live studio audience.
You said that too, yeah.
They only did one episode in front of the live studio audience. I believe it's that one. I could be wrong, but I think
well, the second one did sound like a laugh track. So
yeah, and they had laugh tracks throughout. It's when I heard the laugh track, I'm like, oh sweet, they did laugh track just like we've done on All in the Pen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wait. Oh, I just gave away a secret, didn't I?
Oh
no.
No. Mark says that it's not filmed for a studio audience. So
yes, it is. Anyway,
we're the studio audience.
Yeah, exactly. The dogs at radio.
Yeah, the dogs at radio are the studio audience. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so yeah, it's pretty cool. If you haven't checked checked it out yet, give it a watch. It's pretty sharp. It's on Disney Plus right now. You can watch the first 2 episodes. They release both at the same time. But at the end of the first one of the first hints they give you as to something weird is going on is you'll see as the credits roll, like at the very end, we see Wanda and Vision together on the couch and they're sitting there or they kiss or something or whatever.
And
And
it
then
pans out
to an actual
TV
black and white
station, or
TV,
TV, yep, that's right.
picture in a big console. This.
There you go. Yeah, that's it.
And that's
keep
actually,
forgetting.
if you look in the bottom corner, you'll see the Sword logo. Now, Sword, if you guys don't know anything about Marvel, which at this point I would think you do, but if you don't, Sword is like, they're going to have a show coming out called Agents of Sword, just like they had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Well, S.H.I.E.L.D., in Marvel Comics, S.H.I.E.L.D. is the organization that protects Earth from threats. Sword is the organization that protects the Earth from outside, like aliens and whatever. They're the organization that protects from the outside, and they're connected to S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's basically the Sword and S.H.I.E.L.D.
So they're the Space Force.
Right, basically. And if you remember in Spider-Man Far From Home, if you've seen that, at the very end, you see Nick Fury on a Sword base or a Sword ship in orbit. And
Well, you see the logo behind there. Yeah,
so somebody at Sword is trying to contact or reach out or get in touch with Wanda. And if you watch the previews, you'll see there's a black girl at some point that appears, and she says, "Well, who are you?" And she goes, "Well, I don't know." And she says, "My name's Monica," or whatever. And it's actually Monica Rambo, who was the little girl from Captain Marvel that helped her pick out the colors for her costume and stuff. The little black girl. That's actually Monica. She grew up to be, I believe she's going to be an agent of Sword. And she's going to be one of the first few to actually get into this reality.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, so it's, but basically, so let's go on to the second episode. The second episode starts out with this wonderful little, as you can see, wonderful little intro where they're pretending they're almost like bewitched.
Yeah.
Only instead of going the bewitched thing, they go, Wandavision.
Yeah, right. So they make it work. That's all.
It's really cute. It's funny. But it had that total bewitched look with the cartoon.
Well, they do, you know, that whole thing.
And you can see as the whole cartoon.
Exactly.
But yeah, and then, of course, what they're doing in this one is, and again, it's like they don't know that any time has passed or whatever, but it's like a decade later or whatever from the last one. And they're in a house that looks very much like the interior of the Bewitched house.
That's right. It starts that way.
Yeah. And they're, as the episode progressed, the first thing that happens that's sort of key is the helicopter, the toy helicopter.
Yep.
That
you can see that
the Sword logo is on the
and it's colored.
Yes, and there's numerology on that again, referring to another 6.
I didn't catch that, but okay.
So, and it's in color, yeah. And that loud bang that we hear before she goes out and finds the helicopter is the helicopter actually piercing whatever it is and coming into this reality. That's what that is. It's that sound. That was the same sound that they were hearing in the first episode of the bang bang, remember?
Yeah, with the trees outside.
The trees and stuff. It's actually people trying to get into the reality or whatever is going on in some fashion. So they're going to put on a magic act for...
That was funny.
Yeah, for
because he gets all gummed up. He eats the gum and...
He eats the gum and it shows... this.
Yeah, there.
Going through his little
and it
gears,
shows up his inside, yeah.
And then it makes him act like he's all drunk.
Yeah.
But they're putting on putting on this magic act as part of another, little show or whatever that's going on to raise money for the local elementary school or whatever. But one of the other hints is when you notice this scene right here where she's helping Dottie clean up at the end. And they're standing by the radio here, and as you can see, she breaks the glass, and her hand is all bloody, but it's
you can see in the red. Yeah, exactly.
That's another thing that hints towards the color coming, and they're, of course, the red, and it's all together. And even Dottie says at one point that she doesn't believe her or trust her.
That's right,
or whatever.
exactly.
Like there's hints that they don't quite. They know something's off with them.
But they don't know what it is.
They don't know what it is. And, of course, then they do their little magic act or whatever, and she keeps doing the things like putting the rope around
That's
him.
right. Because he levitates himself, and she makes it look like he's on a rope.
And then she makes the piano fake and the mirrors and all those little things. And
to give it an explanation. Yeah.
Because otherwise people would kind of be like, how are they doing
That's right,
that
exactly.
her,
Yeah.
And of course, the whole thing that she's talking about, well, magic shows are fake, but they actually have magic powers.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like it's really interesting that way. And then, of course, they get into, at the end, they hear that noise, the banging again or whatever, and they go out and they see the beekeeper coming out of the manhole.
Manhole, thank you.
And the beekeeper, on his back, he has the sword logo.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then she there. Okay. And then she rewinds it.
Yeah, and then she rewinds it because she knows something's up, but she doesn't know what, and doesn't want it to interfere, because Wanda is dealing with the trauma of what's happened after, of course, because as we know, the last time we see Wanda is right after she got snapped away. She comes back and she fights in the big endgame battle against Thanos or whatever. And this is after that, where she's still trying to cope with the loss of Vision, who she loved. And in this reality, the reason she doesn't want to face whatever is coming or trying to get into this reality at her is because she's happy being with Vision. Right?
Okay.
So then, of course, it rewinds and it starts back to the point where they were both, seeing that she had started to be pregnant.
That's right. But by that point, it's in color.
And then at that point, it switches to color.
Yeah.
So, which is going to lead us into whatever.
I guess Brady Bunch or whatever.
Brady Bunch, I believe, is going to be the next one. The later part of the 60s.
So it's amazing how there's a lot that I've missed because I'm not like you. I'm not sort of in that loop, I guess. Yeah. But
well, I'll bet you there's a lot of people out there that have been watching that don't really get all the little ins and outs and stuff, and that's fine. You can.
Well, that's why it's good
enjoy,
that you can do this and
and you can perfectly enjoy the show, and for what it is, and have a laugh and a chuckle and whatever, because it is funny. It's
it has its funny parts.
They're
and
doing
it's,
this whole play on these old TV shows, which is cool because, but if you're not. If you're not picking up on all those little nuances, I will explain each of them every week as we go through, so that you can kind of.
That's good. That'll give it a whole other
which is good to follow along. So, but it's really cool. I think they did a great job. I mean, the fact that we had to wait almost 2 years for new Marvel content blew my mind. Because the last time we had new Marvel content was Endgame, which came out in 2019.
It takes a while sometimes.
It's been almost a full 2 years. So just to have new Marvel content, I was so excited just to see it. It was phenomenal. And of course, when it ends, it goes into the whole. You'll see like all the red, blue, and green from TV, which is how light's projected into TV. Those are the primary colors for that. And it's not red, yellow, and blue like the traditional primary colors. But yeah, it's just, the next episode is going to lead us into another show, which I'm going to guess will be the Brady Bunch one, which is the later 60s into the early 70s part.
Yep.
And then it'll be another one that'll lead from there into another one, et cetera, et cetera.
It'll keep jumping through.
Yeah. It's roughly going to jump through each show to give you that time period shift and stuff. And just keep watching because, the
backgrounds will probably change, too.
The backgrounds will change. Their clothing, their hairstyles, all those things will change. But you'll notice the cast stays the same. Yeah. They don't notice the time jumps, or as if to them it's no big deal. So it's all
part and parcel of it.
Yeah, and it's all connected to what's going to happen. And this, like I said, in some fashion, and I'm sure we'll learn as we go along how it's going to lead into Spider-Man 3, which is going to be basically the live-action version of the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse. So. And then that'll lead into Doctor Strange, which would be pretty cool. So,
okay. Before you end, for Murray.
Look, it does come off.
Here's for Murray.
But yeah,
Paula's going to be mad because she didn't want me to, but Murray wanted me to take the hat off.
That's so. Well, anyway,
here's for you, Murr.
Yeah, it's so. I hope you guys are watching. I hope you guys are enjoying. leave your comments below. How excited were you guys to see new Marvel content? Is there something that you were like, oh, I never noticed that? Or is there something that you noticed that maybe I didn't mention? Because there is a lot of stuff, and I'm pretty sure I didn't mention most of it. Because there's just so many little details and Easter eggs and hints throughout both episodes.
If you caught any that he didn't mention, put them below.
Yeah, write them below. I'll bet you I noticed them. I just probably have forgotten.
We can comment on it next week.
But because I watched both right to the nines.
Yeah.
And I'm itching to look forward to it. And I'm going to guess when this rolls around to ending, which will be in 7 weeks. It'll be almost time for Falcon and the Winter Soldier to start. There'll probably be like a week between them, like there was, or 2 weeks between them, like there was with Mandalorian and WandaVision. There'll probably be a couple week break, and then that'll start up. So then we'll be right into the next show for Marvel. So
that's
really
good. Cool. That works.
Anyway, please comment below. Let us know how you like the new background. As you can see, it's back up now.
Yep.
Let us know what you think of our format. Do you like this format? Do you like being able to see what we're talking about so that you can see different aspects of it in case you missed something? One of the advantages of having it on the computer is you can pause and look right at what we're talking about, especially that part about the TV screen at the very end where it zooms out and you can see the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo and stuff. If you zoom in, pause, you'll see all those things. You'll even see digital readouts for each person, like Wanda and Vision and their minds and whatever.
Exactly,
it's really cool. But
let us know what you think.
Let us know what you think, because I put a lot of thought into how we were going to do season 3. So, I hope you guys like it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you guys next week for another episode where we'll talk again about Wandavision and Pennyworth. And if you like this, please show it to your friends.
Definitely. Pass it on.
Pass it along. We really could use the help with the viewers. Don't forget to click like. If that's all you can do, just click like. It helps. You have no idea how much clicking
every little bit helps. Really,
the like button actually helps, because what that means every time somebody clicks like, what it's doing is it's telling that YouTube algorithm
that you like
that other people should be viewing this.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll
see you guys next week. See you later.